So in this video, we're talking about pillar number 3 of the online summit program, which is coaching and support. This is ultimately where just everything through this process that we've talked about so far, the training, the education, everything else, where everything gets tied together. Because realistically, when it comes down to things, no training journey is ever going to be entirely smooth. We always say no training journey is ever a linear process because there will always be countless things that come up which get in the way of your journey. Things like getting sick, whether you just have a small cold or have something a little bit more serious. If you go on holidays, if you have family visiting or family issues, if the weather gets super hot or super cold or super rainy or super snowy, if you have low energy, if you're struggling with sleep one week, if motivation goes down or whatever it may be. These are just a few of the things that will come up during the training process. Now, for many people, any one of these things can completely derail a training journey. And I'm sure listening to this, you probably had this happen to you in the past, where you started training, you've been really good for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, you've been feeling really, really good. And then all of a sudden, you get sick and you're out for a week. And then you try to get back into things and it feels really, really hard. And then you start beating yourself up and you're like, well, what's the point? And then you completely fall out of your rhythm. I've done that many times myself, and I'm sure you've done that as well. When you're going through the online summit program, we do our best to make sure this doesn't happen. We can't control you getting sick, but we can control the aftermath and what we do around that. And essentially, we ensure that you have the coaching, the guidance, and the accountability to adjust around these things and keep you moving forward, no matter what's going on. Now, ultimately, we do this through a few different areas. Now, first and foremost, and this is the majority of what we go about here, is one-to-one coaching. Essentially, everyone who joins the online summit program gets assigned a personal coach. So someone who's going to be your guide and your mentor through the process, and ultimately is going to be in your corner to help you through whatever comes up. Ultimately, these coaches, they are available for you for 5 days a week for message support. They're not available on weekends because we do need a bit of downtime, but they're available 5 days a week for message support. So ultimately, if you're coming through the process, if anything's too easy or too difficult, so if you're doing an exercise, you're like, that doesn't feel great, or that is way too easy, or I'm not sure about that one, or whatever it may be, you can just flick them a message, they'll sort you out. Or if you have any questions that pop up and you're like, you know what, actually, I'm curious, why are we doing this? Or I saw this online that's popping up. Or you know what, I went on a hike and I actually struggled with this, or whatever it may be. You can simply just flick them a message and we'll get back to you pretty quickly. And ultimately, we have a lot of back and forth. So ultimately, through the entire process, you have someone in your corner. Now, on top of that, not only are we just available for message support, but we also do have set check-ins, because we know a lot of people really thrive off having a bit of extra accountability, having a bit of extra structure, and making sure that someone is overlooking them. So essentially, the way that we go about this is every single week we have weekly check-ins. We have what's called Monday accountability, where we have a set check-in process, which gives you, both you as a hiker, a chance to self-reflect around what's going on, which in itself can be incredibly powerful. Just actually thinking about what's been good and what's been bad and what's coming up. And that in itself can be incredibly powerful. But also it gives us a lot of information as coaches around how we can help you and how we can set you up. And we make sure every single week we are in contact. Now, this is all message-based, just to be clear, because we have people all around the world on a bunch of different time zones. So we make sure you just fit in when you fit in for your time, and we'll pick it up when we're on our time. But we make sure that's very, very efficient. And ultimately, through the whole process, we're just here to answer any questions you might have and provide guidance. And on top of that, through the process, there will be a few live calls where you can hop on, have a bit of a chat through the process as well. Now, that's the one-to-one coaching. Doesn't end there. On top of that, we also do have a number of live group coaching calls every single week, which you're more than welcome to join. So I'll share the screen here, and this is the calendar we have for 2025, January 2025, when I'm filming this video. So essentially every single week I run a general Q&A where you can basically hop on, ask any questions you want about any topic you want. And literally you hop on a call, I'll be there on the Zoom, and we can sort of have a bit of back and forth as well. Now, every fortnight we have a gear Q&A where we get a gear specialist that comes in and actually answers gear related questions, because gear and equipment isn't my forte. So I got a specialist in to actually cover that. Now, on the alternating fortnights, we have a nutrition Q&A where we get a dietitian who specializes in hikers to come on board and answer nutrition questions. So if you have any nutrition questions, you can come on and ask those. And we also have a once a month mindset and mental strength and mindset call where we get a mental strength and mindset expert to come on and present on certain topics. So ultimately through the process, we have a number of different specialists who present on these certain things, so you can come in and pick our brains about whatever's going on, and you can pop in and out when you want. Now, these calls, they are not compulsory. They are purely an optional resource for people. And also, if you can't actually make one of the calls, because obviously scheduling, time zones, all of that can be a little bit tricky, you can always post up your questions in advance. We cover the details in the call, and we always put the recordings up afterwards. So you can still get that insight from them, even if you can't make the calls. And then finally, we also do have a private community for people who are going through the online summit program. And this is a small community purely for people who are on this program, where we just have a really nice group of like-minded hikers all around the world. And ultimately in this group, we share our adventures, we share our wins, and it's a really just nice place of just having different people who are based all around the world, but who are training for similar things, going through similar struggles, and everyone tends to build things up. And ultimately, these three things together, the one-to-one coaching, the group calls, and also the community, they really come together just to help you work through any issues that may pop up, keep you motivated, keep you accountable, and also cater for any communication style you may prefer. So ultimately, when you come through this process, you can be really confident that you're going to have someone in your corner to help you through. So with that being said, at this stage, we've covered pillar number 1, the specialized training and specialized training, pillar number 2, the education, and pillar number 3, the coaching and support. Now, if you were interested in learning a little bit more about this program, and you were like, you know what, this kind of sounds pretty good to me, I want to explore it a little bit more, then what I'll do below this video, I will leave a link where you can book a call with our team. Now, as I said a couple of videos ago, every single journey of working with us starts with a phone call. Starts with a Zoom call, I should say, where we sit down, we actually get to know you, we learn about you, your needs, your situation, what you're actually looking for, and from there we can actually talk you through a package and a plan which may fit into your situation if we're confident we can help you with, and we can talk through all the details from there. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more, just go down below this video, you can book in the call there, completely free, no obligation. We can have a little bit of a chat and take it from there. So with that being said, I'm going to finish up this video, and the next video we're going to be talking about some of the success stories we've had through Summit Strength.